Tina Brown, your favorite community advocate. I just want to express my concerns about the news media. As you all know, maybe some of you may not know, but a councilwoman in New Jersey, a mom, a public servant, a woman of God, has been murdered, literally murdered in her car in front of her home. Car was shot up and everything. And you don't hear the White House talking about it. You don't hear the Congress members talking about it. You don't hear, the state elected officials talking about it. This is a Black woman, a Black conservative woman, a mother.
All right, guys. So unfortunately, once again, we have to talk about what appears to be an assassination of a Republican city council member from New Jersey. Now, if you guys remember last week, I had discussed the assassination of Republican city councilwoman Eunice Dwumfour. And unfortunately, today I have to talk about another assassination of a New Jersey city council member. This time it's a man by the name of Mr. Russell Heller, who was shot dead. Again, what appears to be assassination here, just exactly a week after the assassination of Eunice Dwumfour. Now, again, this is extremely shocking. Honestly, I'm speechless. I really don't know what to say. It appears that something is going on in New Jersey where, Republican city council people or Republicans are being targeted, but that is not what the media and the authorities are saying yet. So I want to read about this and I want to talk about it. But before we get into it, I want to go ahead and play a news clip so you guys can get a better understanding of what's going on here. Take a look.
More about a deadly shooting, and now we're learning more about a deadly shooting at a PSE&G facility in New Jersey.
This happened this morning in Somerset. Police say the victim was shot in the parking lot. CBS 2's Kevin Rincon live now with the latest. Kevin.
Maurice and Christine, at this hour is an ongoing homicide investigation. Police say 51-year-old Russell Heller was shot and killed. He's been a PSE&G worker for the last 11 years. His title most recently supervisor. Police say as he made his way to work this morning, he was gunned down next to his car. This PSE&G facility, the Central Division headquarters in Somerset, is a busy hub. But on Wednesday morning, activity was brought to a standstill following a shooting in the parking lot. The Franklin Township Police Department and Somerset County Prosecutor's Office found 51-year-old Russell Heller dead from a gunshot wound. From Chopper 2, you can see the widespread response. PSE&G calls the death of Heller heartbreaking and tragic, adding he will be sorely missed by all, and our thoughts are with his family at this difficult time. We watched as Heller's car was towed away. Meanwhile, the man prosecutors believe killed Heller has been identified as 58-year-old Gary Curtis, a former employee. He was found a mile away in this parking lot inside his SUV. He died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Investigators believe this was an isolated incident and that Heller was the intended target. For now, what's still unclear is what motivated this shooting, and we are told that police are asking anyone with information to reach out. We're live in Somerset. Kevin Rincon, CBS 2 News.
Okay, Kevin, thank you.
Yeah, so again, this is extremely interesting because what happened to Eunice Dwumfour, that happened in Sayreville. Now, what happened to Mr. Russell Heller happened in Somerset. It's only 10 miles apart. Those towns are only 10 miles apart. And you just happen to have two Republican council members being assassinated within a week of each other. Again, I think that stories like this, even if we don't know the motive yet, we should be sounding the alarms on this, right? The mainstream liberal media should be covering this wall to wall, asking questions about what the hell is going on. But we're going to get more into that in a minute. I want to read about this first before I go off here, but let's read this. A New Jersey municipal council member was shot dead in his car Wednesday, exactly a week after the unsolved slaying of Councilwoman Eunice Dwumfour. Russell Heller, 51, was found dead just after 7 a.m. in the Somerset parking lot of PSE&G, the local energy company where the Milford Republican worked. Cops quickly ID'd a former employee, Gary Curtis, 58, as a suspect and found him dead in his car from a suspected self-inflicted gunshot around 3.5 hours after the slaying. The councilman's murder came exactly a week after Sayreville Councilwoman Dwumfour, also a Republican, was gunned down in her SUV outside her home about 15 miles away. Her murder remains unsolved. Authorities have not linked the crimes, and the Somerset County Prosecutor's Office insisted that Heller's murder appears to be an isolated incident. Yeah, I mean, that is a huge coincidence in my opinion, right? That is quite the coincidence if that is the case. I'm not saying that they're connected in the sense that it was done by the same person, or even the same group of people, or people who related, who know each other, or whatever. But maybe it could have been an inspired act, okay? Maybe it could have been inspired, which is a conversation that we should be having. Now, this is the guy that's allegedly the suspect, okay? It was a murder-suicide. So this guy killed himself after assassinating this city councilman. Quote, the investigation remains ongoing to determine motive, the prosecutor office said, while stressing that, quote, Heller was the intended target. Governor Phil Murphy sent thoughts and prayers to Heller's family and friends in the wake of this tragic act of gun violence. U.S. Representative Tom King Jr., whose district includes the area, said he was shocked and saddened by the tragic murder of his fellow Republican. Russell was an outstanding public servant who proudly represented the river town he loved, King tweeted. Milford Mayor Henry Skiffins told NJ.com that, quote, the Milford Borough Council is deeply saddened by the loss and our hearts go out to his family. Quote, Heller was so full of life. It's just unbelievable that he's gone, the mayor said. Something like this has never happened in borough history. We are very shaken by this. Heller had been a councilman since 2020 in Milford, a borough in Huntingdon County, according to the Franklin Reporter and Advocate. The director of the County Board of Commissioners, Zachary Rich, expressed the, quote, collective shock and grief felt over the, quote, senseless shooting death. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, everybody is obviously disturbed by this, and you know, again, it's one of those things where I'm just speechless. I really don't know what to say besides, you know, where's the outrage, right? You know, I know it just happened, but just like what happened with the city councilwoman, right, Eunice Dwumfour, I guarantee you the mainstream liberal media and the Democrats, they're going to ignore it. They're going to sweep it under the rug. Nothing to see here. 2 Republican council members assassinated within a week of each other. Again, I guarantee you that you're not going to hear about it. You might hear about it. You might see some articles, right? But it's not going to be something where Don Lemon is having a discussion about it, or Joy Reid is discussing it, or, you know, any of these pundits, okay, that love to talk about how dangerous Republicans are to Democrats. And when Democrats are in danger, right, they want to talk about political violence, how they feel like their lives are threatened, right? AOC, okay? But you got Republicans out here getting shot and killed left and right. It's crazy, right? I mean, Lee Zeldin, there was a attempted stabbing against him. Again, you know, we've seen this type of stuff lately, and you've heard absolutely nothing from the Democrats, and they've been silent. And in fact, I actually want to play this video here from Miss Latina Brown. I saw this video the other day, and this is a good opportunity to put the video in here. This is her calling out the Democrats and, you know, the black community in regards to their silence on the death, the assassination of Miss Eunice Dwumfour, despite claiming that they love black people and, you know, they're for black lives so much. Take a look.
Latina Brown, your favorite community advocate. I just want to express my concerns about the news media. As you all know, maybe some of you may not know, but a councilwoman in New Jersey, a mom, a public servant, a woman of God, has been murdered, literally murdered in her car in front of her home. Car was shot up and everything. And you don't hear the White House talking about it. You don't hear the Congress members talking about it. You don't hear, you know, the state elected officials talking about it. This is a black woman, a black conservative woman, a mother who pretty much dedicated her time serving the public, and she does it so passionately. Like, I followed her campaign, and I said, wow, this woman, she's amazing. This woman is just remarkable. She's a Republican. And, you know, I liked her agenda. And I strongly felt like she was, you know, leading the community in the right, you know, path. This woman's life was cut short abruptly, just like that, taken away from her. And it saddens me to see that the Black community are so quiet about this. You guys are silent. Where's the outrage? Where is the you know, the shock? Where is the disappointment? Where's the hurt? This is somebody's mother, daughter, sister, cousin. Like, we need to do better. Because she's a Republican? Is that why the Democrats are so quiet about this situation? This was a murder. Show some human compassion. Very disappointed. And why hasn't the White House spoken up about this?
Yeah, same reason that they're not going to speak up about this one, right? They're not going to say anything. They're not going to speak up at all because it's a Republican. But we all know that they will be screaming at the rooftops, right? They would be screaming at the top of their lungs if this were Democrats, right? Like, can you guys imagine if two Democrats were assassinated within a week from each other in the same area, in the same state? Think about all the outrage that would be on the mainstream liberal media. Right now, I get it. We don't necessarily know a motive yet. We don't know exactly why this is happening. But what we do know is that it happened. And we know that the mainstream liberal media will have no issue speculating if this is politically motivated and whether or not politics has something to do with it. Was it done by some right-wing, white supremacist extremist, some Trump supporter? We all know the first thing they would do is to try to blame Trump. I mean, look at what they did with Nancy Pelosi and Paul Pelosi, right? The first thing they try to do is blame Trump despite no real evidence to suggest that the guy's a Trump supporter, and we still don't have evidence to this day to suggest he was a Trump supporter. But again, because it's Republicans, they're not going to ask questions about, okay, is the political rhetoric from the left driving these assassinations? Is that leading to these Republican council members losing their lives? Are people targeting Republicans over politics? Those are legitimate questions that should be asked. Yes, I understand we don't know a motive yet, but again, we know that if the shoe was on the other foot, that they wouldn't give a damn about the motive. They will be asking those questions. But again, there will be silence. Silence on this. So, you know, again, rest in peace to these two council members, Eunice Dwumfour and Mr. Russell Heller. It's a shame that, you know, we've gotten to the point in this country where you have politicians on one side of the political aisle being targeted routinely. And it really is a shame that they're not getting the coverage that they deserve, because this is truly, truly, truly a tragedy. It really is. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.